check to see like, are we interesting, and see if we can answer that question.
Oh,
Um,
buddy. You must be scraping the bottom of the barrel then.
well, I figure if we start at the bottom of the barrel, that gives us a way to work up.
Gotcha.
I will say that probably the amount of time I've had thinking about doing this is probably about 40 minutes. um, and I'd say probably about 10 of those minutes was messaging you and being all like, "Hey, Max, you want to do this?" And you didn't say no.
Yeah.
So,
No, a,
congrats.
a thing I can do without leaving my house.
I know, right?
Count me in. Yeah,
Cool.
no, I've kind of that's like I've kind of always thought like I mean I was kind of an early podcast adopter, and I always thought, yeah, I want to do this, like and I would go, I'd like knock around ideas, and I would go on Amazon and price out like Zoom recorders, and I just never could come up with an interesting enough idea that wasn't already pretty broadly adopted across the podcast
Yeah.
verse, you know, or and I didn't have a lot of people that were that seemed that interested in it. I don't know, but yeah, so very pleased somebody's into it. Somebody wants to go through with it, and with whatever the hell we do.
Yes. We will see if it goes anywhere. I kind of feel like content wise, you only have a couple options, right? You're either like doing zeitgeist shit, where it's like you're looking through, I don't know, your Blue Sky feed or whatever, and just being like, "Oh, here's the latest news article. What do you think about this?" Or you
Yeah.
try to do like some niche thing where it's just like, we're gonna watch old cult movies every week and like talk about them, or listen to an album, or I don't know. What do I don't want to do? I don't know. Probably talk politics, at least too much, or at least without like laughing about it.
Yeah.
um, but I don't have any agenda here. I don't have any real like this is what I think this should be about. Like if this is just like Kieran and Max talk about shit, that's totally
Yep.
fine. It'll be confusing to my family because my brother's name is Max, but it's, it's all
There's a few
good.
of us out there.
Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
name is this name short for anything? Does he get that a lot?
Nope, nope, nope,
People
nope.
always ask me, or people call me Maxwell, or yeah, or, nah, it's just Max, man.
Yeah,
That's all my hippie parents could afford.
yeah. Well, I mean, happy parents on this side too. They named me Kieran. I probably
Yep.
shouldn't eat on podcast. I have a bowl of salad in front of me. Uh,
You'll learn that lesson fast. If you start doing it now, you get the comments. Oh, can you stop with the chewing on the podcast?
yep. Yeah, that's the other impetus on this is that like I guess AI is getting kind of good enough where possibly, and this is unproven, you can like record half an hour of dialogue or whatever, throw it to the AI, they cut out the ums, they cut out the awkward pauses, they cut
Right.
out the eating the salad or whatever, and then you like listen to it, or if you're feeling courageous, you don't listen to it, and then you upload it. But I haven't really looked at too many of the tools. It just sort of sounded like, you know what, maybe there's a way that I could do this dirt cheap, minimum effort, who gives a shit, and it like comes out okay. We'll
Yeah,
see.
well, that's the dream,
Yeah,
especially the no effort part.
exactly. So, but part of my 40 minutes of thinking was I come up with half a dozen questions,
Yeah.
which I can just sort of see like if that launches any opinions. Because what is podcasting except just giving your opinions about stuff you don't really know about.
It's certainly not about giving facts.
Well, God, no. This is
No,
a
we're
no
not here for that.
facts, a no
Fact-free
facts
zone.
or a low fax, I would say, which is which puts us about the same level as most of AI, right? Fact-free discussion. Okay, so my first question: what's your opinion on the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef?
uh okay, here's how it is. I am not super up on modern hip hop. I will be the first to admit I am as lily white as they come in that sense. Like, I mean, I like hip hop, in some cases love it, but I am not up on, if you played a Kendrick track for me, I probably couldn't tell you what it is. But I've been exposed to enough Drake to realize, oh, I hate that guy. don't like I do not like his presentation. He seems like I don't know. There's something about, like, before I knew anything about this guy, I thought, like, why is this guy famous? Like, was it just because he was on Degrassi? And it's kind of a novelty, and it seems to have gone way, way past that. So based on that alone, and from what I've heard, Kendrick just burned him.
Oh yeah. Clearly,
Yeah,
Kendrick won the beef. I think
yeah.
pretty conclusively.
So yeah, so I'm all in for Kendrick, while not having, probably not going to listen to anything by him, but let's say I lean Kendrick, basically because I lean away from Drake, and also
Yeah.
there's all the the Amoebophile bullshit.
No, that is very similar to my
Not into
opinion.
that.
I am not totally up on current hip hop. I lean what hip hop I do listen to. I lean towards kind of probably nerdcore bullshit, right? And
Yeah.
I think like the last like major hip hop album I got super into was Childish Gambino.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, listen to some of that.
but the beef is getting me interested.
Yeah,
It just sounds like it is so hilariously brutal.
just brutal.
That like a Pulitzer Prize winner is going to release like multiple songs, including like a club hit, all structured around explicitly calling his nemesis a pedophile. Like, I'm just like, that's kind of my shit.
And that you have secret kids, and oh god. And I
It's just
watched
like,
that.
it sounds
Yeah,
spicy.
I watched that comedian. God, what's his name? Josh something. Guy who's on. Um, I think he's on Daily Show a bunch, but he's just like, he's at some club in New York, like the Comedy Cellar or something, just explaining the Kendrick Drake beef to like white people for 20
Yes.
minutes. It's hysterical.
I think we've both seen that. It's really
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah. Yeah, I get that guy coming up in my feed a lot. He has something new every night. I don't know how he's able to crank out uh his material that fast, but it'd be really, really funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's never like hilarious. It's never like practiced comedy routine, but it's always super topical, super like he's just sitting there kind of shooting shit. Like I'll be honest, it's a level of inspiration for what I was hoping to do here.
yeah, really.
But not that we'll probably get that level of quality. But to continue about rap,
Yeah.
I have a video to show you that is like the cringiest corporate rap you may have ever heard. Maybe you've
Oh
even heard
boy.
about this. Are you familiar with the design company Canva?
I think I've heard the name, but I didn't know anything about
So this is from, and this is me also just testing like
it.
video
Right.
sharing and seeing if it
Yeah.
works. This is from, I guess, a uh, corporate conference in Australia. And let me know if this audio is coming through.
Oh, we're not like other executives. We're cool.
Exactly.
Let's do it. You can redesign your work, Kimba got that glow up. We redesign everything from the flow up. Customize your workspace and make it your own. Ooh, now you making magic when you up in the zone.
What's up, sir?
So,
Yes, I'm talking to all of you up there.
like the COO gets
You
involved.
guys know what's happening. All right. But what about me?
Who is you?
A CIO from an enterprise, see? And I
Oh,
have some
no.
doubts.
Security.
That's right, and I'd like to have some certainty. Nice that you got some pretty shiny things, but can you meet the demands of a global machine? We got pretty
Big
high
Kendall
stakes,
Roy
no room to
energy.
air.
Yeah,
We need more
total
than a
Kendall
cute
Roy.
little post to share.
So you think Canva can't go deep, but we can see that your teams actually disagree.
Oh,
Designs and
man.
departments really are a dream. More than on the surface, our service is serving teams.
Color me intrigued, but I'm not yet sold. Security,
Get that already, it's getting old.
logs, SIM, SSO.
Security.
Can you really tell me that there's
Something
very
about all
much
these different
control?
You can even manage automated licensing, compliancy, there's privacy.
Okay, I can see, but is it likely for you to integrate all of our systems easily?
Actually,
wow.
matter of
All right, I won't subject you to more.
Oh.
But yeah, there you
It's a
go.
bomb.
Proof positive that it's possible that Hamilton has turned hip hop dumb.
It's many sins.
I think it's gone. It's sold out. It's gone mainstream.
Yeah, it's done. Hip hop done. Internet done. Everything. Movies done. What do we have left in terms of media? It's podcast, baby.
Yep. All right. Let's see. What other cringe can I share? Since that is just sort of easy target. Okay. Have you seen this? You probably have. What do you think?
Right, Cybertruck cop cars. I mean, I already laugh at cops, but I never laughed at their vehicles before. Now that's the complete package.
Yep. Criminal,
Oh,
stop right there. We got to reboot our vehicle.
Yeah, right. You just huck water balloons at them as they chase you. Oh, Jesus Christ! It's not finished yet. Good God. I mean, I almost have more respect for like the small town, like sheriff's departments or whatever with tanks than I do this because, like, I mean, you could fuck shit up with a tank, maybe like, maybe the terrorists come marching down Main Street and, you better, Red Dawn up. But what are you going to do with this thing? Come on.
I don't know.
It's just, it's the cringe mobile. Do the cops really need that? I mean, it's not that they don't need some giant ass vehicle. They don't. But I mean, do they really need this level of humor? They need this level of ridicule that they're about to get.
They must be getting pretty used to ridicule. But I don't know.
I feel like they live in this weird bubble. I don't know. I see a lot of cops that they think I mean, they don't, other than the ones that think they're the Punisher, but the little guys who go, yes, we are the line between sanity and madness. It's like, no, brother, you give tickets.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It feels
And don't arrest wife beaters. Professional courtesy. Yeah. Oh, I got political.
That's I think that's okay.
You can't just show cops anything police related. A good leftist, I'm gonna lean in.
All right. Let's see. I don't actually have much zeitgeisty stuff to prompt us. I've got the money laundering case for Epoch Times. I thought that was pretty exciting.
I hadn't really heard anything about that.
I guess the guy who owns Epoch Times turns out like he's totally mobbed up. He's laundered like $100 million at this point through the company.
Aren't they in with the Moonies? There was some connection to the Moonies.
They're connected to the Falun
Washington.
Gong.
Well, okay.
Who do the Shen? What is it? The
Right,
Shenyang
Shenyang.
billboards.
Right.
So
right.
it is a.
I knew it was some cult.
Yeah, it's like a world class dance company, a weird alien worshipping expat cult from China that is somehow also turned into like a super right wing like Trump media machine. Really interesting. Like, I mean, that's juicy as hell. Like, there's a really
Yeah,
interesting mixture of goods there.
yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of right wing, let's say media machines, Rupert Murdoch getting married again for like I think the fifth
Mazel
time.
tov.
So, could you imagine? You were talking about Kendall Roy before. Could you imagine like how pissed his kids are? Like this guy won't die, and he keeps marrying like 40-year-olds, and he's like 92.
Yeah, it's hey, why not? Like, fuck it. Yeah, everyone hates you anyway. You might as well lean into it. Just, be the, billionaire tyrant everybody thinks you are, and just Henry the Fifth it up, just Henry the Eighth it up rather. Yeah, just crank them out. You
Good
get
times.
one used up. There's I'm sure about a Rolodex full of women, 40 or 40, 45-year olds ready to roll. But
Cool.
yeah, it's yeah, those kids. I mean, it, you would almost it's exactly like Succession, where we do know who his children are, and they are the worst fucking people in the world. So it's like exactly like the Roys. So it's like, yeah, just keep cosplaying Succession. I love it. It's hard to fuck up the world any more than he already has. So might as well enjoy it.
I guess so. Well,
Yeah.
what have you been watching? What show's been
We're really into Dark
attention?
Matter right now on Apple.
Okay.
Have you checked any of that out?
No, I've heard good things, but I don't know a thing about it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's like a physics professor's kind of sad sack kind of mid 40s guy in Chicago, except that he has the most beautiful like brownstone you've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
and his wife Jennifer Connelly, and
Whoa,
kind
Jennifer
of stopped
Connelly's
paying
in it.
attention. Kind of stopped paying attention after Jennifer Connelly showed up. To be quite honest with you, I'm 5 or 6 episodes in, and she's been yeah, no, it's she's like a art gallery employee of some sort, manager, and he gets kidnapped like walking home from a bar in the middle of the night by himself from another dimension, where it's like a parallel dimension where
Ooh.
instead of like marrying his wife, who was like he knocked up, uh he like told her, look, it's not going to work out. He goes on and has this brilliant career as a physicist and figures out how to uh, travel through dimensions. He builds like this big crazy black box that's
Isn't
filled.
isn't this the
It's
backstory of Rick and Morty? Like, are they just
yeah,
doing live action Rick and Morty?
it yeah, it kind of is. That didn't even dawn on me. I wonder. It's based on a book. I wonder if the book came out first. I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, it is kind of. Yeah, he wants the guy from the evil one is trying to just basically take over the guy's life, and have the woman he missed out on, and it was funny because when it started, I thought it was going to be a lot harder sci-fi than it was, or that it's turned out being. So I'm kind of hoping I can hook my mom up, who's deathly afraid of anything science fiction related. I'm like, don't worry about it. They keep saying superposition, but just pretend you don't know. You don't need to know what that means. Just you walk through a door, you're in another world. There you go.
All
That's all you
right.
need to know. And yeah,
Multiverse stuff is hot right now, right? Like,
well, Marvel certainly thought so.
well, it's not just Marvel. There's been like Russian Doll. There's been like
Yeah,
Orphan Black. Uh, I feel like. Okay, here's a wild podcast level theory,
yeah,
which is that like there's like so much manufactured reality shit going on
Mm-hmm.
that like people are really kind of excited and curious about alternate realities. They're like just thinking about it a lot, and they're just like, my uncle, my Fox News watching uncle is like totally like off the wall and exists at a different level of facts than I do. And it literally is kind of like we have to like kind of dimensionally travel to be able to talk to him or whatever.
Right.
Or like Thanksgiving dinner is going to be a little bit like, I don't know, the Rick and Morty Cathedral.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe that's a dumb theory. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of think it's just, I think people are looking at, as we slide further and further into like what would have seemed like a fictional dystopia 10, 20, 30 years ago, becoming very, more and more real. Oh, I'm going political again. They're starting to like, look back at like, well, where did it all go wrong? What if Bernie had won? What if, Howard Dean hadn't screamed? What if, all these little things, and I think a lot of people, I think there's, um, let's see if it really edits out the ums because I'm not a lot.
Right.
You know, trying to, how can I get, how can we create the world that doesn't suck, or how can we escape to the world that doesn't suck? And and I think for some people that's travel, but I think for a lot of people they just look at the world and think, how do I get out? Yeah, I don't want to kill myself, but how do I unalive myself? Sorry, algorithm. Um, but how,
Perfect example.
if I could, if I could walk through a door and be in a better world, I definitely would. Um, and that's kind of a funny thing in the show is like, the evil, quote unquote, evil version of him from this other dimension is kind of better at him and everything. He's like kind of like a better lover, he's a better husband, better father, kind of. Um, but he didn't earn any of it, so it doesn't really come naturally to him. Many of these things,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's an interesting story. It's a good variation on like the Rick and Morty kind of thing, I suppose.
Well,
Um,
speaking of sucky world shit, like has any AI stuff like showed up at your work at all or in your life in sort of unexpected ways?
um, Work, not so much. My company seems to adopt everything a few years after everyone else. I think they kind of wait for some kind of
Not not a
standards to
stupid thing to
emerge.
do. Yeah.
No, yeah, they seem to wait for more some kind of standards, some kind of, or somebody to just do it right so we can copy them. So I haven't seen a lot yet. I mean, I've heard it kind of bandied around, but in the same way, every business seems to be banning your car. Toyota, we've got AI now. Like, what the fuck for? Who asked for that? And it's kind of a, I could see it. I work in finance, and I could see, I'm sure AI is really going to move into that in a big way. Just the ability, I'm sure AI is doing wealth management is
Oh,
going to be a
sure.
thing coming up, and for realistically, they probably do it better than about 90% of the humans I've I encounter. Or just throwing a dart at the wall to see, okay, I guess we're selling that today.
Yeah, I don't
It
know.
probably couldn't do it worse.
Yeah, I can't
Or,
speak for other humans, but I'm not built for finance.
or they could tank us all. I don't know. I don't know.
Huh. All right.
Yeah. How about you? I know you've kind of deal with that a lot more.
Yeah, yeah. I work in design. It's a hot issue.
Yeah.
But I work in marketing where, it's yeah, it is straddling quite a lot of the
Right.
hype cycle. Um and I would say I'm struggling a little bit. Like it's just not um The like no one asked for this nature of
No.
AI is so strong
Yeah.
that like marketing it is just painful, and using it is painful. And so it really just feels like, speaking of like a weird oppressive dystopia, if we're in one, this is like a really weird one. It's like it's a sense of pressure of like, adapt this, sell it, think about it, like everything's gonna change, like all of this kind of like energy around the idea of some sort of shift, like huge world shift around AI. And
Right.
it does feel like so forced, and and yeah, it's coming. It is a great example of like that manufactured reality where it's just like enough people want this, enough people have the power to want this so badly that we all have to live with it now,
Right.
kind of. And I don't know, I'm speaking in probably general terms and purpose, on purpose, but hey, like it's fascinating. At least it's funny and amusing most of the time. It's embarrassing in sort of really fun ways. Um, but
It's
yeah,
it seems kind of like, when whoever, like Daimler, invented the automobile and announced it by driving it into your house. It's like the
yeah,
engineers. It's like the engineers, designed this, and they're just like, here you go, here it is, have at it. It's your problem now. It's like we haven't developed any, kind of ethics around it. We haven't developed any kind of, not even a lot of decent real world applications that a human wouldn't do just as well for money and benefits. Which I think I'm answering my own question here.
now there's like a Gen X side of me that's just
Hmm.
like if this stuff is oppressive, like the counterculture is going to be really cool and exciting and interesting. Like I guess the Kara platform is kind of taking off right now, and all the artists are abandoning Instagram. They're abandoning all of these enshittified like platforms, just simply
Hmm.
because Kara is just being like, we're a no AI platform.
Yeah.
Um, and like after like I feel like a 3-month burst of people making weird shit with AI. Now, like 90% of the AI imagery I see now is just like shitty MAGA memes.
Yeah.
It's just like it's amazing, like how
So the
fast
life
that just
cycle of
turned
any
into
kind of,
like this
yeah.
uncreative like pablum. I don't know.
It's the life cycle of any kind of like new internet
Yeah,
technology. It's like, hey, this is neat. Hey, this is kind of weak. Hey, look at all the MAGA shit. So what they're
yeah.
doing with it?
Like now I've seen everything that can be done with
That's
it.
over. That's done.
Yeah. All right. Well, what have I been watching? I watched Godzilla -1 last night, which is as good
We
as
started
advertised.
last. We started last night too. We got unfortunately started a little too late. We had
Yeah,
about 50 minutes left, and we're like, yeah, we're getting kind of tired.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's a little bit of a slower character piece, and
we were riveted though. I mean,
yeah,
it's really, really good. It's not the movie. Well, I mean, I guess I'd heard enough about, uh, but I didn't realize it's basically a remake of the original. It's, I think, even like the time frame more or less lines up, but it's like, yeah, we're going to really deep dive on these characters and the trauma of,
oh god, yeah. Both the like
post-war Japan, and
the
yeah, it's
individual
really,
trauma and the like
yeah,
national trauma,
yeah,
and yeah, I think the idea of Godzilla as conceptually as like just a rampaging force of chaos for like ordinary people to have to deal with.
yeah.
It was compelling. I dug it in a big way. I watched the first 2 episodes of Acolyte. Kind of meh.
Yeah, it's fine. You
Yeah.
know, it's like middling Star Wars, like better than Book of Boba Fett, better than
The
Obi-Wan, maybe. Well, it's only 2 episodes, kind of hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say just yet, but I have this thing now where like all the new Star Wars that I watch now feels like cosplay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like it's just like nerds having fun dressing up, which is something I approve of. Like generally, I'm just like, you go, like that's awesome, and yet like selling it sort of under the patina of like lore and legacy is a little conflicting with that just sense of like, let's just dress up and have fun and play all the like the music like stings that we're used to. I don't know. Yeah, a little bit meh.
I mean, I'll watch every episode. It doesn't
Oh yeah,
matter. Well, yeah. Star Wars.
I
What the hell else am I gonna do?
I couldn't finish Ahsoka.
Ahsoka,
I'm
the
a
back half of
notorious.
Ahsoka was better than the front half.
Was
That's
it
one.
okay?
Yeah,
Maybe it's
I
worth
really enjoyed
trying
it.
again.
It was a real slow burn starting up, but yeah, it definitely got better as it went along.
Yeah, man, I've hit middle age and I just don't have the like stick to itiveness. I mean, my wife does. She gets invested in a show, and even if the show kind of sucks, she's like, I'm gonna go through it. But me, like, if I have any hint that they're just stretching a regular 3-act structure across 10 episodes, I'm all like,
I
you know
get
what?
what you're saying.
Yeah, you're faffing about in the first episode. There's this inciting event is pretty weak. I see what you're gonna do. I'm done. Oh gosh.
I think
And
that was kind of the brilliant thing that Andor did, was essentially making like 4 3-act structures, like
yeah,
4, it's like 12 episodes, I guess, but it was really like 4 movies, and some of them were a little more interesting than others, but they all kind of, and each story added on from the previous one. But you could take any 3, those, 3 episodes and just watch them in one, the prison episodes, watch them in one break as one movie and have a perfectly satisfying beginning, middle, and end to it. And I think that's, when you have a competent screenwriter in there like they did, you can do stuff like that. It's not just. I think the secret sauce in that was he doesn't know anything about Star Wars. I think
yeah,
he
totally.
just like. I think they brought him in on Rogue One, I guess, and I think he just sort of filled out the skeleton of it. Just had like okay, we've got the spy guy, we got this freedom fighter, we have this rebellious chick, and just stripped all of that, the Star Warsiness part out of it. And, I don't know if they had a team of guys come in and say, okay, well, it's a kyber crystal. The MacGuffin, yeah, it's a kyber crystal. It's a big Jedi city there. Yeah, we'll call it that.
It's like the plot fillers and then the fan
Right.
servicers. They're like, okay, we're gonna have like a 10-minute Darth Vader like just wrecks a bunch of fools, just just to get that out there so that everybody has a thing to remember.
Fan service done well. Hey, I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah, me too.
They want to just have Darth Vader show up and do some shit that we always kind of heard he would do. We just never really get to see it. Yeah, so I'm all about that, as you can tell from the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh yeah, but I'm representing my sci-fi bona fides.
There you go.
Cool. Well, that's what we're watching. What are you playing right now?
I'm not playing much of anything at the moment. I've got in terms of just the last month or two, I just haven't wanted to pick up a controller. I don't know why. It's just too much effort. But I've got like a couple games on the back burner I need to get back into. I was playing Sea of Stars for a while.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's scratches my old head itch. You show me something that looks like Chrono Trigger. Ooh, okay.
Yep.
Shiny. Yeah, yeah, maybe this weekend. And I had a friend who told me that oh, what's that game? Oh God, I can never remember the name of the game. It's an RPG. It's a really crazy ass name, but I know it's like
Mhm.
Chapo Trap House guys did voices in it.
Oh wow. Okay.
This is good. This is good podcasting here.
Yeah.
Uh, God damn, it's some bizarro name.
Disco
Disco
Elysium.
Elysium.
Yeah,
Yes.
Disco Elysium.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I haven't opened that up yet, but it was like on sale for like $10 or something on the Sony store. So I was like, oh, okay, now, and like I'd been eyeing that for a while because I heard about it on Chapo and it sounded really cool, and then it was like $60. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
$10, 10, $15. Yeah, I'll do that. So I have that sitting on the queue waiting to be played. And there's a like tabletop stuff. Not, I haven't. I was in a group until about a year ago, and it was fun, but I kind of wanted to move on.
Oh.
They were starting up a new campaign, and it wasn't really torquing my nads. So
Yeah, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. But you got a game,
yeah,
man. Like we're
yeah, I
middle
know.
aged. Like our time is slowly starting to feel more and more precious. And
I hear
do
that.
it with things you enjoy. And I'm like since the pandemic started, like I've slowly increased my gaming now, and I'm doing like almost I think 5 campaigns right now.
Wow,
Uh, like not all at once every week or whatever, but some alternating campaigns and just some like once a month kind of things. Um, and God, I've never been happier. And to be totally honest,
nice.
like it's sort of amazing, and it feels right, and it feels like, oh my God, this is such a reliable source of joy.
Yeah,
Like,
I hear that.
and there are lots of times where um I don't have the time, or I don't have the energy, or like it's just like I haven't prepped for it or whatever. And I'll kind of push it off, and then like I'll regret it, and I'll be like, like I totally like what else did I do this week that was more valuable and fun than that?
Yeah,
Um so man, I definitely encourage you to
yeah.
get back into it, man.
One of the problems is like I was like an eternal DM for years,
Yeah, I know
and
that feeling.
and had a million campaigns that would start and people would drift away, and yeah, so I was like, okay, move on to the next one. And for this last campaign, this a friend of mine ran it, so I was in there for probably 2 or 3 years in his campaign playing, and I hadn't gotten to play in, I don't know, since high school, especially Dungeons and Dragons. And I got real spoiled by it. So I was like, oh, I want to play. I don't want to DM again. I want to be in someone's game. Like, this is definitely more fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have to do a bunch of prep. I can just slap down my character sheet, pick up my dice, and go to town. That's what I want. So, but it's hard to find a game. Like I've been on I don't know, and I don't like playing with strangers too. I'm weird like that. I'm sure I could probably find a game if I really, really wanted to, but I've been kind of spoiled playing in friends games and for pretty much all my life, and it's it's daunting to walk into a group of strangers and try to, especially role playing where it's like you're really kind of putting it out there,
yeah. You
when you
need a
do
touch
that.
of safe space to really
Yeah,
enjoy yourself, and that can be hard to get with strangers. Like
yeah,
it's much easier with with friends. Yeah, I don't have any advice against that. Uh, I mean, I will say though that like it's so clear that it's more popular than ever. That
that's cool.
like so many like there are now like I think like half a dozen like cafes with game nights, like probably in a 5-mile radius of me, of just
Well,
like,
of you.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's quite have the same penetration up here in suburban East Bay, but yeah,
Maybe. I mean, like,
maybe
that's, I used to live up
it's not
there,
Peoria,
and and I don't know. So like I definitely I feel like it's just popular. Like I can feel
Yeah.
this sense of like, oh, this is kind of a new thing. It's kind of like a pub trivia night,
Hmm.
or like it's trending in a way where like I drive by the bookstore and and they have like learn D&D like Saturday nights or whatever, like listed
Yeah.
out, uh, and it's just like shit, who's performing at Madison Square Garden? They sold out Madison Square Garden. I think it was like one of the Let's Play groups. I think it's
Is it
uh
like Dimension 20 or
I
something?
think it's
Or
Dimension 20. Yeah,
really?
I think,
Oh wow.
and that's insane. Like
Yeah.
in the 90s, if anyone had ever said, people playing D&D is gonna sell out the most famous stadium in the world, like I would have been like,
Not
you
sure
know,
how I feel about it.
yeah, yeah, of
Well,
course, because the Gen Xiness kind of kicks in, and you're just like, well,
yeah.
if it's that popular, it can't be cool. Like,
It's on its way. It's dead already.
yeah,
You're right. It's the Gen X in me.
mm,
Shit.
yeah, unfortunately. All right. Well, I don't know. What do you want to play? What's your dream game?
Uh, boy. I mean, you like type of game, like, or just like game, like which one pull off the wall and
Leaving
play.
it open ended, whether it's like the perfect D&D campaign that you were playing in or running, or if it's another system, or it's a video game, or some hybrid.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good sandboxy D&D game.
Yeah.
The campaign we were on, um, that we finished up a year ago. It had a very sandboxy feel to it, and we just sort of naturally jumped on the railroad. Unfortunately, there was like we started, I think, within like a couple adventures, a couple sessions, we had our own tavern in like this big town,
Hmm.
and we fixed it up, and I was like, we could have a lot of fun with this, but it was the plot started intruding, so we had to go do that. But yeah, I love a good sandboxy kind of game, especially if I don't have to run it.
Yeah.
I can just um, but yeah, I mean, I love a good epic. I mean, I haven't gotten to play a lot of sci-fi kind of stuff. I've always wanted to. Um, Horror's never really been my thing. I played a little Call of Cthulhu back in the day, and just I don't know, something about it just wasn't didn't fiddle my knobs.
Hmm. I could
But
see you getting into Mothership in a pretty big way.
I
Horror
hear that's
sci-fi.
yeah, right, right. Yeah, I heard that's a good one.
Yeah, it's got that really nice kind of retro futurist feel. It's basic, I don't know. Uh Other than that, gosh, any new hotnesses? I mean, we're on the verge of another edition, and we're gonna see another splintering of like, this sucks, this is awesome. Everybody make their own D&D. Like, uh, that'll be kind of interesting. I mean, the groups I play in are already like knocking horns over like whether they're gonna play 6e or what is it, D&D 1, or do something different,
Right.
or keep playing 5e or whichever. Um,
I'm sure I'll buy the books like I did fourth edition, read them through, and decide if it's for me or not for me. Which fourth edition was not for me.
yeah, yeah,
It's been sitting gathering dust on my bookshelf for the last 10, 15 years. But yeah, fifth edition just sort of seemed like it was just about right. So I couldn't imagine they're going to tweak it that much, especially as popular as they got in the last few years. Like, well,
yeah. I think they're going for like a
tweak it just enough
5.5.
to yeah, tweak it just enough to sell more books, but don't make it so bad that like fourth edition where you tuned out a lot of people.
Yeah, Yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty curious.
Yeah.
And they have some acolytes. I mean, like, the playtesting is there. I have some faith that they're very aware of what happened with fourth edition and nervous about not repeating it. We'll see.
Yeah. But
All right.
mhm.
Well, we are kind of coming up on an hour. Well, 50 minutes or so. 45 minutes. I don't know. Not that necessarily there's a schedule to this. The only other thing I have in my
It
notes.
feels like podcast length.
Sure, exactly.
Early run podcast length. Sure.
But I don't know, like, how does this feel, and what would you want to talk about next week? I could keep just throwing together like half zeitgeisty things and half like gamer talk, or we could pick a movie to watch and talk about it. Or
I like an assignment.
Yeah, you're into the homework.
I do like homework, especially when it's involved sitting on the couch. I'll go out to a movie theater too. I got plenty of free time.
Oh man,
I mean, you're the one with
that's
kids.
what I don't
so
have. Yeah,
exactly.
Family and career, and trying to keep this easy. The only thing I have in my notes for just to bounce this off of you, like bad action movies. Although I kind of liked your idea of talking about what was that shitty Netflix show,
Well,
the Ranch.
There's a problem though. I totally spaced out. I mean, I don't know if I remembered and put it out of my mind. Danny Masterson was part of that show.
I think that would be really interesting to talk about. That we could talk about this weird ass red state sitcom with like Scientology rapists in it. Like it could be like really entertaining.
We could just every time his character comes up, we could say, "You convicted rapist Danny Masterson enters the room," and that wouldn't get old.
So here's the idea I wanted to bounce off of you.
Yeah.
I love action movies.
Me, yeah.
There used to be a podcast I used to listen to all the time that was all about action movies and kind of like, and they haven't done anything for years and years. There's this new trend in action movies, which I call autist action movies, where it's like the hero, like it's like Hollywood discovered neurodivergence. And they were like, all our action heroes now are going to be totally coded like weird, creepy OCD folks.
Like the accountant.
Like Equalizer, like Beekeeper kind of had it.
I didn't see that one.
And oh my God, Max, you got to watch Beekeeper.
It's high on my list.
It is so.
I missed that one in the theaters.
So good bad. It is so bad good. Like it is Jason Statham killing telemarketers to eventually assassinate Hunter Biden.
Oh, I want this movie to have my baby.
It's so good. It's so bad. It's so good. So maybe I don't know. Maybe that's the assignment. So next week
I will
watch
watch
The Beekeeper.
Tonight.
and then we'll talk about it next week. Okay.
I am already watching it
cool.
now.
All right, man.
Yeah. All right, Beekeeper, baby. All right. Talk to you later.
Peace out. Cheers.
Peace out.